the Rocky theme tune, the big fight that's going on, and this is going to be fun, I'll tell you, it's going to be fun. And we're going to start off with the first bell. Round 1. The word on the street is Mr. Obama, Admiral John von Wright, and 2 of the Chinese factions, the Manchurians, Kuomintang, also known as the Black Dragon, and the Gold Dragon groups, are all creating chaos in attempts to become the latest Pindar, hence the Rocky theme tune. Apparently the final decision is being made by the Rothschilds, and so here is where we're at this giant game of who will win the next captain of the Titanic, head slave, the big kahuna. The Chinese groups are fighting within themselves whilst deeply indebting China. This is what I've been warning about. People are misrepresenting these clowns with countries, the same as the deep state is representing America. No, they don't. They just don't. Round 2. Eric Prince has joined the ranks of the Chinese group known as the Black Dragon, and is also a member of the very secret OSS society based out of Norfolk, Virginia. He has won awards from the OSS for his outstanding work in leading the private military groups in their fantastic acting jobs known as Russian separatists. They performed in the Ukraine. Oh my. They're also performing and posing as Islamic State, also known as ISIS. So congratulations goes to Mr. Prince for training so many UK, USA and German intelligence officers to become actors and actresses. To Mr. Prince, just a reminder, when posing as a Russian military, remember Russian men wear their wedding bands on the right hand, not the left. Oh my. Oh well, who looks at details when Joe Biden's son is raking in the dough as a board member of Ukraine's largest gas company? Oops. Eric has also formed close relationships with Mr. Gao, head of the Black Dragon in China, and is back now at trying his hand on how to be a terrorist again. This time posing once again as ISIS and also the IMF mercenary group. So good luck, Mr. Prince and Mr. Black Dragon, with your strategy to become Pindar in enacting terrorism worldwide. Now, our next contender is... ding ding. The Golden Dragon, also known as the Li family, Li, Zhang and Hung. These families have taken on a different tactic in their bid for head honcho of the World Council. They have decided to enact financial terrorist acts all over the world, promising big bribes in excess of $1 to $2 billion to various central bank governors around the world and then never paying. Sounds like the RV and the Rothschilds, doesn't it? Exactly. All in an attempt to crash the world's financial system, and loans were given higher than the average mafia and contracts that they never intended on fulfilling. All sounds very similar to me. But why pay the full price when they can pick up every country for pennies on the dollar at a later date? This is what we've been warning of. Crash everything, they buy it up. Take over. It's a bit how Rothschilds took over the UK and the City of London. So they have now changed course while trying to crash every country's financial system, and of course all of the big banks, including America, by the way. Bribes promised have been made to the Secretary of Treasury in the United States, Mr. Mnuchin, the Governor of the Central Bank of Brazil, the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the former Governor of the Central Bank of Sierra Leone, who stayed almost 2 months past his tenure due to the fact that the Chinese group kept promising tomorrow, tomorrow. The RV is tomorrow. We all know how that turns out, except some don't. The governor of the Central Bank of Jamaica, the vice president of Ecuador, the head of the ECB, European Central Bank, to name just a few. I could go on much longer, but this show has time limitations. So now we have the militia terrorists known as the Black Dragon and the Chinese Golden Dragon, the financial terrorists, both operating and playing the same game. Good luck to you both. But now we have some new players and some old still on the scene. Round 3. In round 3 we have Obama, Mr. Pindar of 2016 and in part 2017 pleading for his job back, trotting around the planet like he's still the president of America, along with Hillary stealing sovereign guarantees and promising clean energy, etc., all under the Paris Climate Control Agreement and undermining the current President of the United States, Mr. Trump, at every turn. And she still walks amongst us. And just in case other countries have not read the organic constitution of the Republic of the United States, once a president is out of office, he no longer is permitted to act on behalf of the United States, deep state or otherwise. And though Hillary lost. Anyway, the sovereign guarantees have been useless in his plight to reevaluate the dinar and install the Muslim Brotherhood as the head of the World Council. Keep trying, big ears. Maybe you'll get your day in hell. Oops. I mean the sun, the central one. Round 4. We have a new player in the Pindar game and a new name for you all. Admiral John von Wright. Whether Wright is an anglicised version of Wrights remains to be seen. But Mr. von Wright is a very high-ranking member of the AAIA, also known as the Nazi group, and also known as the SS small p. Now you know why I've been saying it in that manner for so long. He has decided the way to get to the top chump job of Pindar is by using various versions of data centres, backdoors and lots of cyber hacking, and making a very sloppy attempt at recreating the Monarch program. We've spoken about that recently for a reason. He, Mr. John von Wright, is feeding tons of intel to China, not the country, not the president, the goons, to whom he thinks are his subordinates, and yet they are playing a high-stakes game of Risk by using your opposition to destroy each other. No work needed by you. But Mr. von Wright is doing a fantastic job of trying to steal technology from anyone who looks like they may possibly be able to create a new quantum system. Newsflash, you won't. This is the system they mention on all the RV sites. Well, all the previous ones have failed, so he is hunting down and kidnapping anyone who may be able to get this done. Secondly, there is of course your good friend Mr. Gates of Microsoft infamy, chomping at the bit to join you in releasing some ungodly viruses throughout the world, which is a replacement of the fake alien invasion you had all been contemplating. Well, no matter. Good luck to you, Mr. von Wright, and take a lesson from the Air Force General who was in the running this past summer. If you take money out of the financial system, you cannot put it back in. Clothhead. Goldman Sachs, or Goldman Sucks more likely, whichever you prefer, will not be issuing a new US Fed coin. Period. As stated in the news this week, and there is no more money to steal, no more allocations for the Fed. Well, you're the strategist. Figure it out with all your friends at the OSS Society, Norfolk, or whomever else you consult with. So good luck with your job, and we will know you won if all singing the latest Hitler anthem. I suggest you won't be doing that too well. All hail the Fuhrer, or whatever salute you're using these days. Well, that's the latest from the boxing match, the Rocky theme tune of the newest game of Survivor, known as Who Gets to Be the Dragon Penis. Really? That's what Pindar means. Dragon's penis. Dick heads is more appropriate, in my opinion. So who will get voted off the island? Who will win the race? We will all know by November the 1st. What is Rothschilds doing for their part? Answer: nothing. They're just watching their minions run around, annihilating each other, whilst they are all betting on every single horse. So no matter who wins, they win. They figure anyway. So they tell each one of you, you are a shoo-in for this position. Meanwhile, they are sitting back and laughing at all of you. Does anyone listen? We have absolutely no idea. It all seems very discriminatory to me, this Pindar business, with a gay man, Obama, being the last Pindar, and a lesbian woman, Hillary, or Anne as we call her, who was next in line. But Anne lost that as well. Oh dear. Anne has now been in 2 one-horse races and lost them both. She'll go down in history for that record. She will go down in another way sooner rather than later. And no, don't be dirty-minded. I'm not referring to that type of going down. But I'm waiting for some social activist group to raise a petition, start a GoFundMe page, a Facebook page, and a Twitter page, and demand equal rights for straight people to be the Pindar. If this song's appropriate.